We continue our reading of God's Dream for You, The Chosen, a morning devotional by author Dwight K. Nelson. Today's reading is November 16. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, Part 1. He said to him, "Walk through the streets of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of all who weep and sigh because of the detestable sins being committed in their city." Ezekiel 9, verse 4. One morning when we were in Beijing with our friend Doug Martin, he surprised each of us with a gift, a small black lacquered box containing an official Chinese stamp. On the stamp, he told us, and I'm taking his word for it, are Chinese characters that spell our names. It is customary in the Orient to notarize documents with your personal stamp pressed into the red ink pad in the lacquer box and then stamped onto the paper. The affixed Chinese characters authenticate your identity and validate your ownership. In both the Old and New Testament, God reveals that He too has an authenticating, validating stamp or seal that He presses into the foreheads of the chosen, those earth children who have chosen Him. In our text today, in Ezekiel 9, the stamp is called a mark, literally the Hebrew letter Tav, T-A-V, the last letter of the alphabet that in Ezekiel's time was written like an X. Put an X on the foreheads of the faithful people was the divine command. In Revelation 7, rather than a stamp, it's called a seal. Then I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. Revelation 7:2. It too is affixed upon the foreheads of the servants of our God. Verse 3. And it is clear from both passages that this divine sealing or stamping occurs at the close of Earth's history. For the angel that gives the command in Ezekiel is clothed in linen, the very attire of the high priest on the Day of Atonement, Leviticus 16:4. And the angel issuing the command in Revelation does so in the immediate context of Christ's tumultuous second coming, Revelation 6:15-17. Clearly, this sealing comes at the close of God's cleansing judgment. But who should be surprised? In Earth's final chapter, when the very authority of God will be mocked and His law rejected by the vast majority, why wouldn't He be passionately eager to identify for the universe His chosen ones, still loyal to Him? Does that mean that until then we have no security, no assurance of God's salvation? Hardly. It is no different than what took place that night, that midnight in Egypt. A divine visitant was dispatched in judgment. But every household, every family, every soul that was under the blood on the doorposts was secure. Even so, God's end-time sealing stamps an entire generation of people who chose to live under the blood of the Lamb. That's your choice, isn't it? This concludes our reading today of God's Dream for You, The Chosen.